In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Marianne's guests are leaders in their field, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in their own work. They teach others to develop, refocus, and grow. Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. And remember, make every moment count.
Welcome to Moments with Marianne. Today I'm here with a couple of very special guests, but before we get into that, I'd like to take a brief moment and thank all the moms out there and wish them a very happy Mother's Day, and also extend gratitude for all the strong women we have in our lives. So, definitely want to extend our thanks and let you know that you're being thought of today, and we really care about you. So today we have special guests. We've got Dr. Peter Newhouse and Mark Daniel, and both of them are working with IHMC Robotics. So welcome to the show, Dr. Peter and Mark.
Hey, how are you doing?
Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, hey, I appreciate you both being on the show, and what you're doing over at IHMC is just phenomenal. Everyone needs to hop on your website, check out what you're doing with robotics there, because it's out of this world, which I absolutely love. So, but let's start with how you guys got connected. So, Mark, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you came to be the pilot at IHMC?
I was paralyzed whenever I was 18 years old, and I excelled really well in my physical therapy and really bounced back from my injury pretty well as far as the health side and physicality goes. And in excelling in the physical therapy, I believe that's how me and Peter got connected. I think they were looking for a candidate, who was paralyzed at a certain level, who could also attain, certain physical things. That way, it would assist them and make the exo easier for them to experiment with, having somebody that can somewhat take care of themselves and do things on their own, so that it's an independent. It kind of starts off independent, and then I'm looking for more independence that way. So we got together with the physical therapy, and they introduced us, and since then they've just been working me as hard as they can.
I bet. Now, Dr. Peter, I know that you have a great background. I mean, reading your credentials, my goodness, I'd love to have, if I was building anything robotic, I'd want you on my team.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about your background?
Well, I went to MIT for my undergraduate and got my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. After that, I went to University of California, Berkeley for my master's degree. And then I took a little break between my master's and my doctorate. Well, I didn't know if it was going to be a break. I took a couple years off and went to teach at a school I taught from 5th through 12th grade science. And that was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed teaching, but I knew if I was going to ever get my PhD, I had to go do it now or then before I got too used to working and not studying. So then I went back to Berkeley, got my PhD, and then I worked for a number of years in industry, and then decided I wanted to leave California. It was too busy out there. It's pretty hectic, a lot of traffic, and looking for kind of a little quieter lifestyle. And so my wife and I ended up in Pensacola at IHMC, and I've been there since 2003.
Mm-hmm. I can understand that. I moved to Colorado from California as well. It's kind of some of the same complaints. It's over-congested. Love the area. Great people, but it's a little crowded too. Now, so I know IHMC. Now, what does that stand for?
It stands for the Institute for Human and Machine Cognition. Because it's kind of a mouthful, we usually use the acronym. And IHMC is a not-for-profit research institute in Pensacola, Florida, and we do basic science research. So we don't sell anything. We don't commercialize. We might license our technology, but mainly we're doing research that's funded mostly by the government.
Okay. Okay. Well, and I know our listeners can go over to the IHMC website, which is www.ihmc.us. So you can take a look at what we're talking about. This stuff is just absolutely phenomenal. Now, Mark, we talked about this last time you and I chatted. You know, with the way that this exoskeleton looks, I mean, it kind of puts you kind of looking like an Iron Man. So did you get called that quite a bit?
Yeah, that's a nickname that I catch a lot when speaking with my friends and just people in general out and about whenever I'm in public. And I've had some people notice me from pictures and things like that. And just people that are already into the community, with robotics and, with IHMC already, they've noticed me and stuff like that. And everybody brings up the Iron Man. And really, it kind of makes you feel like that when it comes down to it because, I mean, it's really, I know it's not my legs doing it, but it really is, strapping on the suit and becoming, not, I wouldn't say more than I am, but it becoming something different in a sense. The suit does kind of come with a little bit of a, for me it comes with a little bit of a kind of a persona, like, I have to excel, and that's something that whenever I put it on, I get really focused and I pay attention to every little move and noise that goes on so that, I can help out as much as I can.
Oh, definitely. Now, Dr. Peter, could you explain for our listeners what this suit looks like? I know it's a little tough on radio, but and since you're the head guy with all of this, I figure you'd be the perfect one to explain it.
Sure. It's called an exoskeleton because it lives outside your skeleton. So this is a device that has motors, and our device has motors at the ankle, motors at the hips, and motors at the knees, and then rigid connections between those motors, and it parallels Mark's legs on the outside of his legs. And then there's a backpack component, so he wears it like a backpack and around his waist, and then he steps on foot plates. And so when he's wearing it, as the device moves, his legs move with it. And so he can stand up, and it's not carrying him, it's basically holding his joints in a position so that he can stand or that he can walk. And the motors are computer controlled, and we write the software to control the motors so that he can walk, he can stand, and do, as we start to get really into the Sabathlon challenge, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but as he gets to do these different activities, we make the exoskeleton do the different motions.
Okay. At some point, I know the skeleton right now is tethered. At some point when it becomes untethered, will people like Mark, will they be able to be more in control of what's actually going on with the exoskeleton? Right.
So when we started back in 2010, that was when we started working with Mark and our first exoskeleton. It was connected with a wire to a desktop computer that someone then controlled the stepping and controlled the operation of the device, as well as the power came through that wire. So it wasn't a very practical device that he could walk around outside of the lab. And again, with our second device, that was also tethered. And now for our third device, because of this competition, we are required to be untethered, and all the operation has to be done by the pilot or Mark. So that'll be a really exciting opportunity for him to take control of the device in both the operation way, as well as he'll have freedom that he's no longer restricted by the power cord.
Okay. Now, how will he be able to control it? Would it be with like hand movements, or is there another way that this is controlled?
Well, that's something that we're going to work together. So Mark is a full-time employee at IHMC, and that gives us a great opportunity for him to spend a lot of time helping us figure out what the best type of interface is for this device. We currently have kind of a joystick on the handle of the crutch, as well as some buttons that he can press, so he doesn't have to take his hands off the crutch, because he'll need the crutches to maintain balance, and then he can press the buttons and control the device. We think that will be enough, but he's going to give us feedback, and he'll say, no, we want this, and we're a pretty adept organization at trying out new things. We have some good technology in our lab. We have a couple of rapid prototype printers, or 3D printers, which are becoming very popular. You might hear about them. And we have these in the lab so we can easily make new interfaces. So if he says, well, I want the button to move this way, or I want to move this way, or maybe if I had one on each hand, this might be something we can easily try out.
Okay. So he's really involved as far as how the design of this is working as far from a functional standpoint.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a true collaboration. I mean, if we get in the device, I might, want to operate it one way, but it's really up to Mark to determine what the best way to operate it, because he's going to be the pilot for this challenge.
And that's pretty exciting. We'll talk about that a little later on in the show, because that's definitely some exciting stuff there that you guys have coming up. So Mark, now being able to be in the suit and move around, how does that feel?
Honestly, getting up and walking around like that it's a confidence builder. I don't know how everybody in a wheelchair feels, but most people in my position, one of the biggest bothers, I would say, not the biggest, but one of the biggest bothers is being eye to eye with who you're speaking with, and just that face-to-face communication that you don't necessarily get the same way from the position that I am in a wheelchair all the time. So being up and walking around. Not only the function is nice, being able to get up and walk around, but just being face-to-face with the people that you're speaking with and back in that perspective of life is beneficial, like I said, just confidence-building wise, and it makes you feel better. But then there's also the physical attributes of, the spasticity goes down, you build bone density that way, and it's better for your circulation because the human body was meant to stand up. So I guess that that all comes back down to it's a huge confidence builder, but also you have the health benefits of being back on your feet. And after a couple weeks in the exoskeleton, every time that we've tested, after we spend a couple weeks back-to-back testing, and I'm really up in the device a lot, it makes me feel more energetic. And I don't know if that's because I'm up in it and it's just exciting to do, or if, over the time that of the couple weeks, I just feel better in general because of the increased circulation and just, the less dealing with spasms and things like that as well. So, I mean, it helps all the way around in the long run and the short run, immediately wearing it.
Yeah, it's got to be fabulous to be, being in the exoskeleton like that is, and being able to move around, and that actually leads me to my next question. Dr. Peter, do you kind of see at some point that this project transitions into where it's available for everybody that is in need of some mobility?
Well, currently there's two companies that have devices that allow someone with a spinal cord injury to get up and walk, very similar to our device. One is by Exobionics, and the other is by Rewalk. There's a third one coming out by Parker Hannifin called Indigo. And so there are commercial devices that will soon be available to people to purchase and for home use. Currently, their devices are sort of limited to the rehab center. But what we're doing is trying to advance the capabilities. And, we're a research organization, so we look at, how can we make this device better? How can we give Mark more control? How can we have him walk faster? How do we increase the capabilities, go upstairs, downstairs, increase the balance? And we're looking at those kind of areas. And what we hope is that as we make new discoveries, we publish our research, and then the commercial sector picks up on our work and then adds those capabilities to these devices, so that overall the field is benefited.
Yeah, I mean, with all this research, I can definitely see it just having this expansive way, both in commercial, and then you're also saying that you guys have been partnering with NASA.
That's right. Our second device, we collaborated with NASA for the design and build of it. And that was a pretty exciting opportunity to work with some great engineers over in Houston. And we always look forward for collaboration, whether it's with a government agency or with the university or with a commercial sector. And because we're a nonprofit, we can use those kind of collaborations where if we were a commercial entity, we'd be much more closed about our research.
Oh, okay. Now, with the work that you've done with NASA now, what interest do they have in your second project that you're working on there?
So NASA was looking at different wearable technologies and how they can help astronauts. One specific application was for exercise in a microgravity or in space. Astronauts, because of the lack of gravity, they're not constantly loading their muscles, and they need to do about 2 hours of exercise or weight-bearing exercise a day in order to keep their lower body muscles in shape. Otherwise, they have atrophy and bone density loss.
Mm-hmm.
So we looked at our technology as a way to do exercise with a very small device. The current device up in space station that the astronauts use for most of their exercise weighs about 2,000 pounds, and our proposed device would be somewhere 50 to 70 pounds.
Okay, so they have one that they're currently using, but it sounds like it's insanely heavy. But,
right.
I guess space, all things are relative, right?
Right, and you might say, well, it doesn't matter how much things weigh, but the heavier things are, the more expensive it is to launch. And then as NASA looks to go to Mars or even further places, they'll need to keep the mass of the things that they launch even smaller and the space smaller. So this would be a great technology to help some of their astronauts maintain their physical fitness while traveling or spending a long time in space.
Okay. Now, Mark, have you helped with that partnership with NASA as well? Were you involved in that?
Yes, ma'am. I was of course, the pilot for the exoskeleton test fittings, and just worked with them in general, just the same way that I work with IHMC now, as really just as a test pilot. I jump in the machine, and while I do have the time in the machine, I also spend time discussing with them, like he was talking about, ways to interface with the machine, different things as far as positioning of the, where the handles are, the way the buckle's set up. I look at the whole overall design and just kind of put my input to it as far as not being able to control my lower body. My whole perspective is helping to adjust the machine to better fit, myself. And then with NASA, I was the test pilot and just collaborated with them in general discussions, how things worked, things that I would change about the machine, things like that, just same way I do with IHMC.
Right, and Mark has a perspective that we just can't appreciate and understand. I can try and relax my legs, but I can't stop my brain from feeling my proprioception or feeling my feet and feeling how the thing is contacting me. And so it provides an invaluable way to evaluate the device.
No, it definitely gives a unique perspective and probably closer to what the astronauts would be feeling in space, so it makes it a little bit more... and I'm just throwing this out here, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's a little bit more true to what they would be using or feeling out there.
A little bit like it.
Okay.
My legs do float.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It's just with that, because the astronauts go through that atrophy as well when they're up there for a long period of time. So there is that unique perspective that Mark brings to the table. I can see that definitely.
Yeah, the inability to control what the machine does as far as the movements below my waist. I can control the balance and the stability of the machine, but I have no control or, more than visual perception of what is really going on beyond the waist. So all the movements and stuff like that have to be, true to form for it to actually work with me. So like you say, and that's one thing that they can't really imitate.
Mm-hmm. Now, have you had, Dr. Peter, have you had other pilots for your exoskeletons?
We've worked with one other person. Her name is Mia, and she's helped us out in both our first exo and our second exo. She was great because she also gave a different perspective. She's different body size than Mark, and while Mark is really strong, she has a little bit more of balance, and so it was also great to hear the different, or to watch them both learn how to use the device. For Mark, when he evaluated our first device, it was over about a 2-month period, or maybe even, does that sound about right?
Sounds about two months probably of straight working with it, and then a few months either on either side, just kind of fitting and this and that.
So he would come in once or twice a week, and we'd test the exoskeleton. With Mia, we had, she lives in Mexico, and she came in for about a week. So we had just 1 week to work with her and get her to evaluate the device. So it was kind of a little bit different time pressure to really push her to the point where she was utilizing the device as much as she could within that time period. Where Mark, we had a much longer time frame. We weren't under that same pressure.
Yeah, I remember Mia coming in, and I came in with her and coached her a little bit on, at the beginning, the onset of, just generally how I do things. But Peter's definitely right about the difference in the way that we use the machine. He was saying that, I have a lot more upper body strength. I kind of, while I do have to finesse certain things, I have more of the brute strength to kind of make things happen. If things go wrong, I have a way of I have that brute strength to kind of push through it if I need to. And while she had, everything that she did was relying upon, finessing it through and making it work with her while, while I could adjust things as I went a little bit.
Okay. Well, we're going to pause here for a quick break, and we will be back in just a moment. So stay tuned.
The goal of the Jessie Lewis Choose Love Foundation is to cultivate a more peaceful world by creating awareness that we can choose love. By providing tools for our children and communities, we can enable them to develop a healthy level of optimism that leads to resilience. Our mission is to give people the understanding that they can choose love by living a life with gratitude, having the ability to forgive, and to be compassionate. This is a proactive effort towards mental health that'll provide children and adults with the perspective and wisdom they need to be able to navigate through life in a happy, fulfilled, and meaningful way. Our website is jessieLewisChooseLove.org. Join the Mind Health Coach with Leah Marie every fourth Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Come explore with us natural and healthy ways to achieve inner peace, happiness, and an ever-present state of well-being. You're already healed. You just haven't realized it yet. When you're ready, you can change your mind and change your life forever. The power of a beautiful life is within you today. Mind Health Coach with Leah Marie is part of the Dream Vision 7 radio network.
Have you ever had the sense that your thoughts might actually be doing something? Ancient secrets of manifesting have been masterfully revealed in the award-winning book Manifesting 1-2-3 by Ken Elliott. For the first time, the author's experiences and stories in this book describe exactly how your thoughts can create anything. You've been doing this all your life, but it's never been fully explained for you until now. Visit manifesting123.com for more information today. Manifesting123.com.
Internationally recognized and award-winning author Judy Goodman works and teaches outside the box of limited thinking. Working with people from every walk of life, her goal is to empower you to be the best you can be, no matter what the challenge is. Born with the gift of seeing beyond our normal vision, she has an extraordinary gift of working with every challenge. Teaching beyond conventional wisdom, her work is described as life-changing. Visit judygoodman.com. That's judygoodman.com. Ben Wexler is a gifted leadership development and strategy consultant for professionals who want to transform their organizations and careers. Through a uniquely personalized set of processes, participants discover their unique knowledge, how to leverage that knowledge and experience, and then put it all together with a global strategy. You're more valuable, your organization is more valuable, and the change is viral. Contact Ben at 630-881-1074. 630-881-1074.
The pressure is on. Can you feel it? Life as we've known it is no longer working. Why? We are awakening. The true core self is alive within us now and has a new life to live. What does this mean? How do we live from here? Join us live every third Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern as spiritual embodiment coach and trainer Ambu Jam Rose explains this mass awakening. Ambu Jam's direct approach teaches you how to navigate this new wild ride, educates you on how to strengthen your spiritual core, and takes your calls for personal spiritual core training. This program is part of the Dream Vision 7 radio network.
In 2012, after returning home from Iraq and Afghanistan, Sean Gobin hiked over 2,000 miles of the Appalachian Trail. Recognizing the therapeutic effects of long-distance hiking, Sean founded Warrior Expeditions, a veteran nonprofit therapy program that supports veterans transitioning from their military service by hiking America's national scenic trails. Equipment and supplies are provided, as well as assistance with job placement. For more info or to help support these veterans, visit warriorexpeditions.org.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
In a single moment, your life can change. Join Marianne Pastana, host of Moments with Marianne, for a transformative hour of leaders in their field, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Tune in to experience Moments with Marianne every second Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, all part of the Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. Don't miss this. And remember, make every moment count.
Did he do? Welcome back to Moments with Marianne. I'm here with my special guest today from IHMC, and we're talking with Dr. Peter. We've got Mark Daniels here, and now we're being joined by William Howell. So thank you for joining us, William.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I understand you're the multimedia specialist there. So what great things do you do?
I don't know if I do anything great, but I've been around a long time, so I must be doing something at least good.
Well, I can add to that. It's all the forward-facing videos and photos that our robotics group puts forth is basically a lot of Billy's creativity. He also does. Okay. Yeah. So on our website, there are some interviews with Mark and Mia, who we talked about also. And those interviews are basically Billy really extracting out their feelings about life and the exoskeleton. So without Billy's interview techniques, we wouldn't have that great documentation about our work.
Yeah, it's
it'd be a story that wouldn't be told as well, you know.
Well, yeah, my father was a psychologist, so I've been at IHMC since 2000, maybe 2001. So as soon as the exoskeleton project started, and I was brought aboard, I just realized that the guys were focusing on hardware and even the how the user interfaced with the machine. But to me, I don't think it would be a complete research project without focusing on their feelings, right? On the human aspect of how someone interfaces with this and how they feel. And that's just a question that you really can't quantify, so it's not really one of the things that you would care about in an engineering sense, but I really care about it, right? So.
Well, I can tell in the videos that you guys have up and the pictures, they do tell a story, and it's easy to see with them just what you guys are accomplishing there, and I feel it's absolutely phenomenal. Now, I understand, Dr. Peter, you've got actually a competition coming up, you and Mark, and well, I guess Billy's you're going too, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in fact, we will be bringing most of the team, and the competition is called the Subathlon. It's kind of a mouthful, but it's basically a challenge for para-athletes to compete, but it's compete with the assistance of technology. And our specific race is called the Powered Exoskeleton Race. So this is a race where someone with a lower extremity paralysis will do everyday challenges, but these challenges could not be accomplished with their wheelchair, so they'll need a powered exoskeleton to help them accomplish these challenges.
Wow, that's phenomenal. Now, is that when Mark is doing this competition, is he going to be an exoskeleton that's tethered or non-tethered?
It's required that it's untethered, and it's required that all the control comes from the pilot or comes from Mark himself.
Ooh.
So that's really is what forcing us to get to that point where we have to cut the cord by adding batteries and cut the cord from the control and get to the point where he's able to control all the motions himself. And the triathlon is in October of 2016, so it's come up in about 5 months in Zurich, Switzerland.
Perfect. So once you put this, Mark is able to go ahead and control this, he might run out the door in Zurich, right?
I've already told them they should put low jack on it.
I bet. I definitely bet. Just make getting around that much easier. But how exciting. So, you're going to be able to start testing this, and are you guys already in the test phase of this, or is it just happening?
Well, just about a couple days ago, we've got someone up in the Exo standing. We're doing kind of a fit check, and this is just one of the engineers. We think it'll be about maybe another week or two until we have, Mark, we'll do a fit check with him and then power it up. In order to get anyone in it, we have to make sure all the safety systems are working, and that's really what we just got accomplished, so that we're getting really close to having Mark test out this new device.
So how many different groups or companies show up for this competition?
In the Powered Exoskeleton race, there'll be 16 teams, and the competition is full for that race. So I think there might be more companies or universities that would like to compete, but because they can only accommodate 16, that's the total number that'll be competing. And so we're pretty excited. We'll be the only team from the United States in the Powered Exoskeleton race.
Oh, that's so cool. So, William, you're going to be posting lots of pictures about this, right? So we can keep track of the journey.
Well, I don't know if I'll be posting it, but I'll be handing them to Mark to post, because he seems to be the most adept at the social networking.
If I'm the most adept, then we really have a problem.
We need to hire someone else.
But I am learning. I am taking the time to learn, especially since I am the pilot, and I'll be having a lot of people asking me questions and wanting to hear my perspective about it. I've tried to be as open as I can be with it, and as really as fun with it as I can be, because I have a good time with it. It really is it's a fun experience all around. Just doing this in the lab, I know that going to Switzerland, going to the Cybathlon is going to be just an amazing journey, all the way from starting when we started the project in 2010, looking back all the way up until looking forward from now to October is absolutely amazing, and I'm jumping through the roof. My competitive edge has already jumped in, and I'm ready to do just about anything. We're fighting hard for it, but I am not rushing the safety side of it. Like Peter said, the safety checks keeps me from kicking myself in the forehead.
Well, we like those safety checks. That's important. So, oh my goodness, that's got to be so exciting to be getting ready for this next part of your guys' journey. And so, how when they award somebody at this event, is it just recognition? What type of award are they giving? Are they giving any like financial help to your programs?
Unfortunately, there is no monetary prize, so they'll just be recognition of our accomplishment. And that does help the team out, and it helps motivate us because we like being recognized for our accomplishments in the same way that an athlete who's competing will be recognized. It's in part about our device, but it's really about Mark working with the device and giving us feedback, and then Mark using the device to its fullest extent to compete.
Well, so all eyes are going to be on you, Mark, huh?
Yes, in a sense, and just like Peter said, they deserve to be recognized for all the hard work that they've put into this over the years as well, and that's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to. I guess is I don't like being in the spotlight so much. I mean, I'm looking forward to doing the race, and I want to be a part of the competition and everything. But I'm not really a public person, so of course, I didn't put all the work into building this and to getting us here. So, I'm excited and ready to do it and jump out into the open. But I want to drag the engineers and the minds behind it as well.
We'll be there with you.
We'll let you take the spotlight entirely. I'm glad.
And for our listeners out there, I did give you the wrong email address, website address earlier. So it's robotics.ihmc.us. And then /CYDATHLON. So you definitely want to check out what they're doing there at their website and the updates they're posting. But they're doing some phenomenal work. So I think we have a few minutes more before we head to our next break. So, Dr. Peter, with all the work that you're doing with this, what seems to be the most challenging getting ready for this competition?
The challenging right now is getting the hardware together. I mean, it's a pretty complex robot. It's got 6 motors and just a lot of moving parts that we're building from scratch. I mean, you can't go to the store and go buy an exoskeleton that'll get someone walking. So,
yeah, you can't Home Depot that, right?
Not yet. So we're really focused on the hardware, and we also have a team working on the software, and we're also adding a lot of new components to this exoskeleton versus our previous ones. We've got sensors in the feet to see how well Mark is balanced. We've got the interface that we just talked about, and we've got more complex software, because before we were only doing walking, now we're going to do a lot more activities.
Okay. Well, we'll be right back after this short break. We've been talking to Dr. Peter Neuhaus, Mark Daniels, and also William Howell. So we'll be right back after this break.
Internationally recognized and award-winning author Judy Goodman works and teaches outside the box of limited thinking. Working with people from every walk of life, her goal is to empower you to be the best you can be, no matter what the challenge is. Born with the gift of seeing beyond our normal vision, she has an extraordinary gift of working with every challenge. Teaching beyond conventional wisdom, her work is described as life-changing. Visit judygoodman.com. That's judygoodman.com.
Ask Dr. Love is now on the Dream Vision 7 radio network every second and fourth Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Dr. Jamie Turndorf, a.k.a. Ask Dr. Love, is a psychotherapist, author, love and relationship expert who offers advice and answers to your relationship questions. Hear about Dr. Love's groundbreaking new Dialoguing with the Departed technique that enables you to reconnect and make peace with a loved one. This show is for you, the listener, and Dr. Love wants to hear from you. Call 866-338-9663 or 617-237-1234.
In 2012, after returning home from Iraq and Afghanistan, Sean Gobin hiked over 2,000 miles of the Appalachian Trail. Recognizing the therapeutic effects of long-distance hiking, Sean founded Warrior Expeditions, a veteran nonprofit therapy program that supports veterans transitioning from their military service by hiking America's national scenic trails. Equipment and supplies are provided, as well as assistance with job placement. For more info or to help support these veterans, visit warriorexpeditions.org.
Ben Wexler is a gifted leadership development and strategy consultant for professionals who want to transform their organizations and careers. Through a uniquely personalized set of processes, participants discover their unique knowledge, how to leverage that knowledge and experience, and then put it all together with a global strategy. You're more valuable, your organization is more valuable, and the change is viral. Contact Ben at 630-881-1074. 630-881-1074. Are you an author looking for publicity for your book? If you're self-published or have worked through a traditional publisher, Marianne Pestana can help you get the media attention you require. Contact Marianne Pestana, literary publicist and host of Moments with Marianne, to create a winning plan of action. Marianne has helped authors become bestsellers and has received highly acclaimed media attention for her clients. Some of her work has received attention from ABC, NBC, CNN, CBS, Fox, and PBS, in addition to print and radio. She's a specialist in utilizing social media and her list of exclusive contacts to further the reach of your work. Contact MariannePestana.com to discuss the future of your work today.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
In a single moment, your life can change. Join Marianne Pestana, host of Moments with Marianne, for a transformative hour of leaders in their field, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Tune in to experience Moments with Marianne every second Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, all part of the Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. Don't miss this. And remember, make every moment count.
Welcome back to Moments with Marianne. We're here with Dr. Peter Newhoff, Mark Daniel, and also William Howell. And so we've been chatting with these gentlemen from IHMC. So I've got to ask you guys, okay, so what's on the horizon?
Well, from our research, we will continue doing research and make this device better until it's able to restore Mark to full walking, and he can walk and run, and maybe even run faster than me. Then we're going to keep doing our research.
Oh, that sounds fabulous. That would be a great thing to accomplish.
Absolutely.
Oh,
running, maybe some dancing.
Oh, I don't want to see Mark dancing.
Oh, yeah. I never could
come
dance
on
before.
now.
Maybe we can program it to dance.
There's nothing wrong with that,
Well, yeah. but yeah. So that's on the. I guess that's on the forefront of our research initiatives.
And I'll be keeping up with IHMC as far as they want to pursue the project with the exoskeleton, the cybathlon, of course, and then past that as far as they want to go with it. And until then, while getting ready for the cybathlon, I'm actually preparing myself to do a cross-country walk on the American Discovery Trail as well, which I was actually planning to do this year. But because of the cybathlon and the opportunity here, I couldn't turn it down, so I'm going to postpone my American Discovery Trail walk until March of 2017.
And it should be noted that we're a non-for-profit research facility, so we kind of live and die by what we call live and die by the grants. And so the cybathlon, competing in the cybathlon isn't necessarily like us trying to actually win a competition, more so to get our research noticed in the robotics and the exoskeleton world so that we can perhaps procure funding to further our initiatives. And at least on my front, I hope that we just, I think it'll be a great networking opportunity for us to really meet companies and individuals who are interested in pushing this technology into the realm of reality, right? Because
IHMC is a pretty small research institute, and Pensacola is a pretty small city. And in our robotics group, we weren't really that well known until we placed second in the DARPA Robotics Challenge in June of 2015. So last year we did really well in this international challenge in robotics, and after that, people started to say, oh, I've heard of IHMC, and we were featured on a NOVA Rise of the Robot show, and that really helped kind of propel our group and get the word out there that we do great work.
Good. And which is important.
Good. And,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Well, it's important because you want to ensure that your not only your image is good in the research world, right? You don't want to have a bad image, but really you want to ensure that you're doing good work, and you want to instill confidence in those who are really looking to push the field forward, that they can trust that you will do good with the money that they supply you, right? So.
Oh, sure. Without a doubt. And you can definitely see by looking at your website with all these fabulous pictures, by the way, that looking at the website, what it is that you guys are involved in right now, what's your current project. And, I think people should know about what you're doing. So, just because you're a small company in Pensacola, you probably end up, being, kind of the big name in October at the events,
Well, we hope.
We hope so.
Yeah. And I absolutely hope that I don't trip or anything like that. That's the nervous edge. I'm really looking forward to. I've always enjoyed working with IHMC, and I'm really looking forward to Cybathlon just as a way to really make the guys here proud. I know that they enjoy working with me, and I enjoy working with them. But this is an awesome. For me, it's really nice to see a company like this. They take such a personal note with me, and just a real. It's kind of like they're picking up the fight with me to help me get around and be more of myself. And it's really nice to see them. The commitment that they have to it.
Yeah, for sure. You can easily see that. Now, Dr. Peter. How can people get involved and help, or what is it that you're looking for?
As Billy mentioned, our work often is funded by the government, but this activity specifically is really not something that the government would necessarily fund. And so part of our work is funded through charitable contribution, but we're also looking for sponsors to help us with this project. It's going to be an expensive trip to get to Switzerland, and we'll need, in addition to Mark and myself, we'll need some of the engineers, and we'll need someone to help Mark out as well, and to provide that moral support for him as he competes. And so we think it's a good opportunity for companies to really associate their name with a really good cause.
Okay.
Yeah, on a global scale, this isn't like this is going to be, this isn't. It's not, like this happens even, once a year. This is the first, and, this is a pretty big event, right? So
the foundation of it, really.
So this is the first Cybathlon that, this is the first time they're having a Cybathlon, and so I think there'll be a lot of people watching in the technology community, but also people interested in the sports. It will be a sporting competition. It'll be a head-to-head competition. There'll be 4 athletes competing at the same time on an identical course. So it'll be head-to-head competition.
So it'll be a great opportunity for any company that gets involved, right, to get their name out and have it associated with something that's pretty phenomenal when you stop and look at all of the things that are on television. This is going to be something that kind of is much higher on the wow and good factor. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm going to be watching you, and I know I'll be getting information from Mark and seeing about posting it here as well. Just kind of keeping people in touch with what's going on and your progress, and especially when you get to Zurich, how things are going on in the competition. So we'll definitely be paying attention to that and cheering you guys on from the sidelines. So, yeah, and I think there are quite a few. In fact, I can think of a couple right now that are, companies that should, probably take a look at this because, it'd be a great thing to put your name on as a partner or sponsor or something like this. They do it for race cars. I could see it right now on the Exoskeleton,
Slap some nice decals on the Exoskeleton, and I go out there and I run as fast as I can. And
oh, wow!
Looking forward.
There you go.
That is one of the things that's really cool about the Exoskeleton now is we have that ability to speed it up, and so we will be testing out some speed factors there.
Oh, he's going to need a racing helmet. This is going to be.
He does have to wear a helmet for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I do have to wear a helmet.
Definitely a helmet sounds like it would be a good idea for sure. You probably put the stickers there on the helmet. But yeah, that is too intense. I mean, I love what you guys are doing and everything that you're promoting here. It's as far as the work that you're doing, and I just can't wait to see what comes out of your guys' your lab next. I'm sure it's going to be something just phenomenally fun. Because this looks fabulous.
Yeah, we've got some cool stuff going on. One of the things that we're doing, and this is aside from the robotics, but this is something I'm heavily involved in, is we're producing a podcast called STEM Talk, and within a few weeks of releasing it, we were #1 on iTunes in science and technology and medicine, and so anyways, if any of your listeners like long format interview shows or like science, they can go to iTunes and check out STEM Talk. And it's a pretty amazing show. We've had some pretty amazing guests, including Dr. Peter Newhouse, who will be on a future episode. But anyways, that's one of the things. And then they can find out more. Your readers, once they get into STEM Talk and get on the STEM Talk website, they can find out a lot more about IHMC as a organization, because we're the robotics group is we're so much more, but robotics are easy to look at, right? And so it's like there's a robot and you can see that, but we're so much more as a research institution, and it's neat. Everyone here is all on the same team. But if the listeners want to find out more about IHMC, STEM Talk is a good platform for them to begin to kind of dive into it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Gravitational waves. I mean, who doesn't want to talk about that? That sounds like fun, Yeah.
So that was Dr. Barry Barish, and we've got who else? Michael Turner, I do believe. So these guys were the people who constructed LIGO.
Yeah, you got the guys that are the guys. Well, I'm so sorry to cut things short. We're at the end of our time today, but I want to thank all of you for being on the show. Thank you, Dr. Peter and Mark and William. I so appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cool.
It was great talking with you.
Yeah, you too. And for all of our listeners out there, I'd like to thank you for tuning in today. And remember, make every moment count.
Join us next time for Moments with Marianne, when host Marianne Pestana brings another inspirational gifted leader to help us grow. Tune in every second Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Moments with Marianne, when the Dream Vision 7 radio network is at 1510 a.m. Boston. Or catch Moments with Marianne every Thursday and Friday at 5 p.m. and 5 a.m. Eastern Time by going to dreamvision7radio.com. To learn how Marianne started her business from the ground up, visit mariannepestana.com. Don't miss this, and remember, make every moment count.